warriors, and welcome to another episode of your Love Your Life blog, vlog, or sound recording, however you're listening to this. I am Susie Barolo, and I'm thrilled that you're here with me on this journey of learning more, and the more we learn about ourselves, the better we can show up in this world. And it's just a joy that there are people like you out there in the world that are interested in doing the work on yourself so our world's a better place. Thank you. I'm going to dig right in this week to our post, and it's all on our kids and parenting. If you are a parent, keep listening. If you are not a parent, listen, because you had a parent. And it's interesting, people who don't have kids, how they then, maybe as your parents get older, you start worrying about them in ways that as a parent we might worry about our kids. And there are also things that influence you in your life right now that are showing up in your relationships based on how you were parented, whether your parents are alive or not. But I know all of you out there had parents, so listen in. And yes, I'm in a new location today because different reasons. My son was home visiting from college, and Mom just switched it up. Fun. So what do you want for your kids? Okay, what do you want for your kids? Think of right here, right now. What do you want for your kids, whatever age they are at school? Do you want them to have more friends? Do you want them to have be more interested in classes? Do you want them to get good grades, to be liked by teachers? What is it that you want for your kids? And now zoom out a bit and think of when your kid is your age. What do you want for them when they are your age? Looking further down the road, what do you want their lives to be like? Like, I'm 46. What do I want my 46-year-old sons? I have 3 of them. They won't all be 46 at the same time. But what do I want their lives to be like? What do I want their relationships to be like? Their romantic relationships? What do I want their relationship with their friends to be like? What do I want their work experience to be like? How do I envision them spending their weekends? What do I want them to be doing in regards to their health? How do I want them to be sleeping and eating? How do I want them to feel on a random Sunday night when they're going to bed? Bonus points here if you take 60 seconds and jot down the answers to some of those questions. What do you want for your kids right now in their lives, with their, wherever they are, in school or at home? What do you want? You want them to be happy, etc. And what do you want for them when they're your age? There are 2 ways of looking at your answers to the above, even if they were just in your head. They will improve both your parenting and your experience here on Earth. The first way is through examining why you want what you want for your kids. It brings up where your messaging and your desires come from. The second way is that by bringing mindfulness and consciousness into how we're currently living our life, we can look at how we're maybe not in alignment with those desires. I'll explain both of those. First, let's dive into the first part. Why do you want these things for your kids in their lives right now? Why do you want your kids to have lots of friends? Or why do you want your kids to play or not play on a sports team? Going back to my blog from last week, which was all unconscious parenting, yes, your intentions were good. I get it. You think that in having those things, like your desires for your kids and having those things, they'll be better off in some way. Your wishes come from love and good intentions. I get that. And I urge you to dig a little deeper. Why do you want your kids to play on a sports team or to be more social? In order to best answer that, look at your experiences as a kid layered in with what makes you happy right now. If you have lots of friends right now and that makes you happy in your life, you may not understand why your introverted daughter doesn't feel the need to have more friends, or how could she possibly be happy staying alone, staying home on a Saturday and just playing in her room, or staying home with her parents. You might not get it. Why don't you get it? Look at yourself and your interests. Or if you've always felt left out of peer groups when you were growing up, you will be super sensitive if you think your child is being left out of social situations now. Whether it bothers her or not, you're going to bring a sensitivity to the table because of your own past experiences. The key is to separate your experience here on Earth with your child's experience here on Earth. Check in with your child. She is not a mini you. Her experiences are not yours. Do you wish he'd talk more to his teachers? Do you wish she'd show more interest in social work? Do you wish he'd run for student government? Do you wish she tried out for a sports team? In order to parent consciously, you get to look at your experiences with all that. My desires for my kids and my fears for my kids come directly from my past experiences. Either past experiences that I've lived or past experiences that I've avoided. I've chosen to avoid because I have a fear or something. And when I can see that, I'm better equipped to parent my kids from a place of calm, to see that it's my issues that I'm bringing in. It's not them. They might not care about being home alone on a Saturday. Or, like me, I like being home on Saturdays. Them going out all the time, I might worry like, oh my gosh, are they too social? Are they avoiding things? No, they might be just fine. So check in with yourself. What are you bringing to the table? What do they have there? Yes, this is hard and uncomfortable because you get into some of the more inner parts of yourself too. But the beauty is the payoff is hugely wonderful. Not only do I get a more connected relationship with my child when I look at their experiences here on earth without letting my past experiences cloud it, I often discover that they don't have any problems. That it's not a problem. Whatever I thought was a problem is not a problem. They're doing just fine. They may struggle with one thing or another, but that's part of life and they can handle it. My job as a parent is not to micromanage them or to turn them into some version of mini-me that I wish my schooling had been like. It is to love and support them, not to make them into the me that I always wished I had been. I can do that right now, right here. Live the life I want now, okay? Now think of your child at your age and think about what you desire for them, all right? And then give a little thought to how close are you living in alignment with what you want your kids to have when they're your age. We often get frustrated with ourselves and with our lives and how our lives are currently playing out, and we pass that off to our kids. If we feel stuck or out of control in some area of our life, we might try to micromanage our kids' life in that area. Say you feel stuck or out of control in your marriage, and you might want to make sure they're getting, whatever you're not getting, or you're eating, or you're exercising. I see so many people that are like, oh my God, my kid's not exercising, and it's just driving me crazy because and I'm like, okay, are you exercising? Are you what are you doing? Or they're eating too much, or they're eating mindlessly. Okay, so let's look at yourself. Consider it sort of a mirror. How am I eating? How am I exercising? Our intentions are pure. I get that. They come from a place of love, but the actions are actually harmful. We think, either consciously or unconsciously, I'll tell them what to do, or control how they're eating or acting so they don't have my problem when they're older. The interesting thing is, our kids learn from watching us, not listening to us. Watching, nagging does not work. Instead of telling them what to do, we need to do it. Yeah, it's hard truth, but we need to be the person we want our kid to become. How do you want your kid to spend his or her days? How do you spend your days? What do you want your kid's relationship with technology to be? What is your relationship with technology? What do you want their relationship with their significant other to be like? How is that a mirror of your relationship now? You could do the work instead of nagging them to do something. How about you turn it on yourself and be like, okay, so wait, how am I eating healthy? How am I modeling this? How am I showing them how I want to be? What is your marriage or romantic relationship like? What do you want your child's relationship with their body to be like? Well, how is your relationship with your body? How do you speak to your body? How do you take care of your body? How do you show your child you caring for your body and yourself? How close do you want her to be with her friends? How do you want her to speak about her friends when she's not with them? How do you speak of your friends when you come back from a book club or a girls' night out? How much do you want her influenced by social media? How much are you influenced by social media? Let's stop talking and start doing. As you become aware of how you've been parenting in a way to avoid looking at your own habits and behaviors, you may be tempted to beat yourself up or be critical of yourself or your partner, the other person maybe parenting your kids. Please don't. Don't. It's a waste of time. It doesn't move you forward. It's like getting all critical and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been obsessing about their weight and here I am overweight and sitting on the couch when I should be doing it myself. Yeah, okay, that's not helping you. It's just wasted energy, wasted babbling. Instead, do something. Start where you are. We have all the ideas in our head. We need to take action. You didn't know you were doing this, so you couldn't change. Once you know better, you do better. Instead of spending time and energy beating yourself up, think now of how you can live and learn. What do your past experiences teach you about right now? How about instead of reacting to your child's poor grade or pushing them to invite a friend over that they don't want to spend time with, stop to see how your past and your current issues are impacting your present parenting, and do it from a place of kindness. The purpose of parenting, truly, the purpose of parenting is for us to grow into our best selves. Our children learn by watching what we do. They're a mirror of us, showing us what they see. They provide a reflection of how we're affecting the world. They show us what our impact is in the world. What are we showing this world? They mirror it right back to us. And they show us what we're inviting in. I encourage you to see parenting as more of an opportunity than a crushing responsibility. It's your opportunity to get closer to your child and get closer to yourself. In learning more about yourself, your triggers, your enjoyments, your approach to the things that are happening in the world, you get to best support your child on their journey into this world. You also get to best support yourself. Kind of cool. When I think of my goals for my kids, it helps me to think of their feelings, not the external results of their actions on the world. It's a bit heavy, but what I try to do that helps me get away from some of the judgment is to think, like, how do I want my son to feel around his friends? How do I want him to feel at home? How do I want him to think about himself instead of the actions? Like, how do I want him to do on this soccer game, or how do I want him to perform on this test? I think more of like, what do I want him to feel about himself? How do I want my relationship to be with my kids? Do I want them to feel safe sharing their mistakes with me? Yeah, in the next couple weeks, I'll touch on how we can provide a safe place for our kids to feel their strong emotions, to feel the difficult emotions that come up with life, how we can discipline our kids without needing to be disciplined ourselves, and how we can do all of this through a journey of self-growth and understanding. It really can be quite magical. This week, I encourage you to just look, sort of take a balcony seat to your interactions with yourself and your kids and see, like, oh, okay, how are my own issues coming up and impacting my kids? It's only going to help them, and it's only going to help you. What do you want your child to become? You get to become that person. In fact, it's on you. You must become that person. You can control you. You can't control them. So if you have these ideas of what a person should be like at your age or whatever age, then you become it, all right? You get to do that. It's actually wonderful. Let's go, warriors. It's time to let go of trying to control other people, including our kids. We get to control our actions and ourselves. We get to grow up. Yay. All right, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe however you're listening to this to my SoundCloud or YouTube and newsletter. I give lots of freebies in the newsletters, great book recommendations, podcast recommendations, and coupon codes when new programs are coming out. And reach out. This is not easy work. I have a life coach. I firmly believe that everyone should have a life coach to bring you to that next level. And if you want to work with me, I'd love it, but I also can give you recommendations of other people to work with, because the more we show up for ourselves, the better this world gets. And that's really, I'm just in the market for helping everyone live a more conscious life. It's magical. All right, go get 'em, warriors.